So we need. So I started. What I did. I think we need to have like a page. I mean, we can share whatever we want, but maybe having a landing page. I don't know what you think, but the others often they have slides. So maybe we should just focus on having a proper slide deck. We have our Notion pages, which is already, it's already something. And on last Friday, a bit by chance, I was in a kernel meeting that they use this methodology of pitch bingo, and which is really cool. And I said, no, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know if D.E.B is going to be accepted for the Alumni Showcase. So I was, giving the feedback to the other presentations, and finally they encouraged me to do it. And so I started to do it, and I got interesting feedback. And I think I put everything on Notion. And so would it be okay? I mean, what do you think, Satori? I mean, and also I wanted to say, Satori, is that really, I mean, I really want that to put online all the things that you are doing, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Did you happen to see? I did a Kumu map of the performative metabolism video. Anyways, that one was.
Where is it?
But anyways, that one's good. But yeah, I'm totally down. I have like these images that I've been doing. Even the whole running with the whole like cycle thing and the cell. I think we could put together something pretty cool.
Yes, but we need to. So I mean, I love the one that you did with the cell.
Yeah.
It really gives a great idea. So the other one, maybe I missed it. Where can I find it? Okay, so and anyway, so I think, so can we, I mean, first my question, so it's very practical, is like, do you agree that do you have time and to have a deck that is really serious, that would illustrate this pitch? I think that's, the deck I think is maybe maximum 4 slides. So my question was, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's what I was already kind of thinking in my own head about that video that I did with Daniel and his like ending remarks of when we talked, and like to map out the idea more clearly and better and using cool images and stuff. Yeah.
So let's go. If we go, so I wanted to prepare a bit more, but I didn't because I had this conversation too long, and I should have learned to say now I need to stop, and I didn't because I'm not so good in managing my own energy. So I think it's the D.E.B landing page. I forgot. Yes, this is on the D.E.B landing page where we started. On the if you can go on the D.E.B landing page.
I can share the link.
On the D.E.B landing page, what I did is that I started, it's a bit messy, but feedback, voilà. So what I put in the beginning, like more or less in pink, I just picked some sentences, and it was 1 minute, and I think the presentation is 3 minutes. I'm not also very aware of what's going on. I can also share, if you're interested, this pitch thing that was kind of cool. The methodology, I have it here. It's a Figma board. So it's a guy from Kernel who prepared this. Basically,
are you going to share your screen, or are you going to be linking the...
No, I'm just going to add it on Salim, yes. I add it on feedback from, so under the...
got it.
You got it, okay. Here,
yeah,
exactly.
So it's on that page.
I think you're going to love it. Me, I hate these kind of things, but in fact, I found it so efficient. But especially that you just write, you just do your pitch, and people ask questions at the end, which is a way of, at the beginning I wasn't able to ask questions. I was more saying, oh, you could think about that, I didn't understand it this way, these kind of things. But it's true that when you ask questions, it's more positive in some ways, and then you have some ways. So if you see the Figma doc, the idea is that you have 1 minute to say, where your question would fit into this classification, and then you ask a question, and then there's another turn or something. I mean, you have all the description on the left. Well, sign plans, there's sticky notes on the one key area they should be worked on in the next iteration. But for me, these key areas that didn't mean a lot. It was hard for me to fit that. And then, so we didn't really did like this with the most vote. It's selected for improvement. So we did these things about 1 minute to ask questions or express what confused them. And then on the next round, there's improvement. But this idea just of feedback was so good. And it's beautiful, actually, to do it as a round like this. So I did it only once. And on the Notion page, this was the idea. We are disrupting inhuman and industrialist and capital structure, creating an art science collaboration. I mean, you can read it. Research to. Voilà. So they asked me how. So we could start discussing this now. How does the economics work? They didn't really understand the value system.
Well, that's because it's non-existent currently.
Yes, but exactly. But then we.
It's like that's exactly what we're trying to solve.
But I'm going to make some drawing in the same times on a very basic paper. Then what I would say in terms of value is that we are both anchored in the real life and building this seed, which is a dynamic energy budget token. Yeah. Maybe I don't know if it's a token, but process or something like this, which is also an art project by itself and research for, as you said, for application to ourselves and to the common and shared with common. And so when I was mentioning to Sebnem, she was saying that for kernel, they would really need to understand, how much it's connected to Web3 or why do we, why does need so this is, like when she told me that, I was thinking about that. So why does D.E.B need Web3? Sorry for the bad English. So for me, it's like Web3. So tell me if it makes sense, Web3 solves problems from Web to world. But this is too vague, much too vague. But still, I mean, this is D.E.C in art science,
Should we answer it like one by one? So I'm guessing like when you came up with this project, you were already quite familiar with your users, so you'd be able to like describe this in.
Sorry, what did you say?
When you started this project, I'm guessing you're quite familiar with the users that you are wanting to help, right? Because you said you wanted to help artists.
No, I mean, I didn't want to help artists.
Okay.
I'm because I'm saying it in purpose. I'm a bit provocative in purpose, but it's more really, and okay, it's true that this is not very original, but the way we do it, it's original. It's just that I wanted to create a sustainable economy for things that are usually not valued economically, and especially in art creation. So I mean, this I say it, and I said it in the paper, and can artists change the way organizations are made, and all this idea of valuing the process and not the end product, the idea of embodied research and interdisciplinary, it's very strong in artistic culture. So it really makes sense. So
right, but that's a solution though, right? Because you're saying like, I believe we can change everything if we include artists into the, I guess, like scientific research. But I feel like that would be the solution you're trying to create to help the users who you're actually trying to help. So who is it that you're trying to help? Like,
But
why should you improve the way things are by bringing artists in? It's because you're trying to help someone, right? Who is that someone?
if you say what is your contribution, and let's say that it's not the purpose, the end purpose is not the artist, like involving
Yeah.
artists is part of the vision, but it's not. This is what
So then
actually
who is
is
the end
exactly the
user?
point. I hate all these organizations that say we're going to help artists, because it's still a way to put artists or art creation on the margin. They need help. I mean, you don't say we're going to help doctors or we're going to help engineers. We create an organization to help engineers. So just this idea of saying we create an organization to help artists is a way that it's like they are out external to the system.
So then who are we helping? Because we have to tell them what the point.
Yes, we are helping interdisciplinary innovation. We are helping human-centric innovation, but even if this word innovation is so good.
But I feel like that's more of an answer to what you're saying is more like an answer to the second question, which is utility or product. Like, what is it? What does it do? What I'm asking is, who are we helping? Who are the users? Like, why are we creating this? Who are we trying to help by creating this art science lab?
I don't know if you say that. I mean, yes, okay. If it's who and not what, it's about all the people that are going to be part of the ecosystem, of the interdisciplinary team. It's going to be, the place where you can have like true interdisciplinary collaboration. So
why would they want to have an interdisciplinary collaboration?
Because they
and
are not
who are they? Who is it who wants that?
Satisfied by the silo way of today's institution. So they can find so then it's all different kind of people. It can be people that are with different kind of background of belonging and all these kind of things.
We're just okay, so those who are not satisfied by the silos way of today's institutions, who are those people? How do you identify them other than they're not satisfied by the silos?
They are change makers.
How else do we identify them? Like, for example, token engineering commons, when you talk about their users and what are their needs and priorities, I'm sure people would say, well, token engineers, and then the people that those token engineers are helping, right? We want to create public goods for those token engineers to learn as much as they can so that they can more responsibly and more knowledgeably build, ethical systems. So that's who the users are. And then we could talk about their needs and priorities, probably like opportunities to learn, opportunities for work, and in terms of community, like people who want to connect to token engineers to design their system for them. So then what is that for D.E.B? And you said those who are not satisfied by the silo way of today's institutions, but how do you identify them? If it's token engineers for TE.
Okay, so what you just said, because I missed the first sentence. I don't know why I was focusing on the food. Sorry.
It's okay.
But, so what you said is that with token engineers, we bring them, what they need to be able to code with more ethics and values. This is what you said, yes? I mean,
what the TEC, the users who we are trying to help are token engineers, people who are trying to be token engineers, communities in need of token engineers, and subject matter experts. So those are the users we're looking at, and then we can then answer what are their needs and priorities. Does this make sense in their life? So who are the users that we're targeting for D.E.B? So I'm just wondering if there's like better ways of identifying those people other than they're not satisfied by the
Exactly.
silos. Yeah.
So it's the opposite. For example, we had in this conversation before, we had this talking about the fact that there's some ways for artists to, you have the artists that are already working interdisciplinary that wants to create, to propose some alternative vision and solution, just not to say they want to contribute. So it's for artists that interdisciplinary artists who want to contribute to regenerative finance, because we say that the topics, if we use the language of a DESI lab, we say that the topics were human, machine, and energy.
So what I have is artists who are already creating in an interdisciplinary way, who also want to contribute to
interdisciplinary artists who want to contribute to regenerative solution. So it's not only artists, but it's
so they're the ones who are trying to help here.
Because when you talk about we want to help token engineers with Token Engineers Common, so they're also contributors.
Yeah, I think there would be like interdisciplinary like projects who want to contribute to regenerative finance. Like we're giving those projects in, let's say, the Web3 space, or in this intersection of art, of science, and using that in economy, right? So it's like the projects and the different people that want to think in a regenerative way, right? Because, like, for instance, right now, like, if we want to think of it in this way, the user or our client is Omega, right? And what we're doing for that project is providing different ways to think and the flow charts and the images of how they could have us think of what we are undervaluing, or how to think about value differently, of where we want to focus our energies and stuff like that, right?
But we don't do only that. Like, for example, I'm tweaking it a little bit, but for example, the performance I'm going to do in Paris, and so this performance for me is also a bit of intersection between like the traditional Web2 life and a way for D.E.B to be in between. So there's these things that we do for Omega, which is already one project, and the second project is this performance, because it's going to be a performance for BCG, a way to create NFTs for the solar token project of Sebnem. Also, because we need so her data visualization work, we include also another artist from Motion DAO. So suddenly, it's a project of D.E.B, which is about traditional art creation, and also participation to a solar crypto movement. And if we move on with the research from, with Bataille and all this also is going to contribute, or could contribute to this solar energy movement that Sebnem wants to create. And for me, one of the things in terms of, thinking of in a different way in economy, about economy, is the fact that, we create an intersection of many different things, and it's okay, that it belongs to many things, because it's a way of saving money, because we can say we have a client, and I don't get a lot of, I get zero payment from BCG because they paid me 2 years ago. I get a bit of payment for other work on this token solar movement. So then, like we use it in all different ways, and probably it can create some more funding in the future. So that for me is something super important in the way of disrupting the way we think usually, that we can use something in many ways, and so hopefully we can create more value.
So I'm just looking at how others are presenting themselves.
In the kernel thing?
No, just in general, like people who are doing something sort of similar to what we're doing. So there's RN-DAO, which is basically like, DAO-funded research, which is pretty similar to what we're trying to do. And there's DeSci World as well, except they've got like specific products for their...
But we have a specific product that is not ready yet, which is normal. This is why we need money. It's this.
What is the specific product?
So our specific product is this dynamic. It's this token that is going to be developed based on this biology theory methodology. And so this is our product because this is what we want to create for our own D.E.B lab and for the commons. And we could see already, even if, and we already have an art science practice to develop it, even if it's the beginning and we want to do it and we don't do it yet, but I really think we should do it, on focusing on a few days on it. Like a few days every other month or every month, every 3 months or every 4 months. But we have this research that we want to do, that we already do in a interdisciplinary way, because I'm convinced that if we draw this flow chart, I'm really serious what we started to do and we stopped, but I hope we can do it again. This idea of having a regular practice of drawing flow charts and thinking about Bataille and the others is definitely a way that is super interesting and that can really be transformed by token engineers or by something similar. So this is our product, this token, and this way of even if it's not a token, of having a very clear economic framework based on metabolism. And we have already an art practice to move on, and we already are, hosted by Token Engineering and Omega, which is really amazing. So
it sounds like a lot of things are still kind of like not worked out, if that makes sense. Like, we can't even... Can we really even answer in depth, like, who our target users are? Well,
yes. No, seriously. There's a lot of things. And it's all about... when I see the other projects, they are projects. So what we try to do is start to do it by concrete things. So it's even great, that there's already something going on. So maybe I'm not convincing enough, but I think this is why we are here, and I'm really happy to try to. I think we can really write something that is convincing, that is very short, and and very long is easier, actually. I'm really convinced that being able to be a space where we become the champion of interdisciplinary collaboration of interdisciplinary and methodologies and art-based research. There's already a lot of methodologies, but how we can use it in a more interdisciplinary way. I think that, for me, these are the two methodologies of this lab, and the culture and the central seed is a D.E.B token or economic model. And the people who are going to participate are going to be the people who want to contribute to regenerative finance. But for me, at the beginning, I was more thinking of something less in the utopia of Web3 and more concrete. So it doesn't have to be individuals, but it can be individuals, but it can be also organizations like companies and city hall and these kind of things. So, for example, the woman I'm working with at BCG, I thought, okay, she could be part of D.E.B because I know the way she thinks. She doesn't think the same way than all the other consultants. She really tries to bring in this big company some different way of thinking using arts. She's working on that for years. And so it would be great for her to be in a space that is really innovative. And she can also use this space for her own clients. So then it's also a very basic way of getting funded, So for me, there's really a very traditional way of working, but we do propose something that is different. So for me, it's in between Web 2 and Web 3. And what I want to say is that this idea of having a platform that is open to anybody and everything is automatized and everything is decentralized, I found this a bit, I'm not sure it's going to work out. It's better to have intermediary steps. I'm not sure everything should be automatized. I also think that this woman from BCG, she can come and be part of it, but and we go step by step. And Kernel, for example, they can be a partner because they would be interested by the research we do on dynamic energy budget as a model creation. And La Sphère also, because they are also working with artists and they're also working on the economy of art creation. And actually working on the economy of art creation, and maybe that should be the heart and the entry point, I don't know. It's not neutral because it's not only how we can help artists to make a living. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, I'm provocative enough. It's about how society can, how an economic framework in our society with different values understand all the value created by art, and especially by art practice and processes and interdisciplinary. So maybe that should be the entry point. I mean, am I convincing or not, or it's not interesting because I really feel I'm talking to myself.
I would say you're giving a lot of examples, but like it's hard to take out of that the answers to the questions that one might have if they're thinking of investing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like what you have clear is like the vision of what you want to create, but how to get there, it's not very clear yet. Yeah, because you kind of explained in different ways the end goal, basically, is what I got from that. We unfortunately, like, just the way things work, everyone's short on time. As you said, even your friend is short on time. We do kind of need to like spoon feed the information that people would need to them. I think we have to be more direct in like saying, okay, like, hello, this is D.E.B. We're trying to help, these users, and we're doing that. We're trying to solve their problems by creating this product, and we're going to be able to create this product using, our team expertise because we have these skills. We know that this exists currently, but we believe that, our product will do it better or differently because this, and then that's when you talk about your story, like, how did this start? This is what we're facing right now, which is like, well, we need more people contributing. Like, I think we need more scientists so we can actually create those like diagrams and experiments, right? And then the end goal is to create a token economy. So that hasn't been worked out yet. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's a lot more straightforward.
And Mert, you know what we are doing? Thank you so much, Nick. I took notes of what you said, but so we need to try to do it in the 15 last minutes.
Really, no. I just saw you guys and just want to chime in, like.
Just wanted to vibe.
Yeah, I have a meeting in like 15 minutes. You guys. and I know that you are like one of the most
One of
So
them
we are
was sorry.
struggling now.
like people, so I just joined.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
We are
listening.
struggling. We are okay. So we are working on presenting, on getting prepared to present the D.E.B project to the Kernel Alumni Showcase. I mean, do you know about Kernel? Yes. Okay, so we hope to get. We are seeking to get funding and new partners, thanks to this Alumni Showcase, and so. And we hope to have a very clear pitch and a 3 or 4 slides deck that will convince these investors at Kernel.
Yeah, sounds really good. Like, I was the best, like most active at energy budget research, but this one and me, I can like give feedback can possibly. Yeah,
I couldn't
so
hear you. I couldn't hear you well at the end.
It keeps breaking up, Mert.
so is it not good now?
Better.
Yeah, now it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said it was not the most active of the guys like me pitch. My best back. Even in one Omega call, we can collectively like kind of give feedback and make it prettier, maybe.
Maybe tonight, because the pitch is next week, the 14th of June. But we got inside late. But it's okay. We have a lot of content and we're going to have it. But if you have some ideas and suggestions about, but it would be good if we can, you're right, do it at Omega as well, because it would be a good test. And also, but if you have suggestions about what these investors, Web3 investors, how what would convince them. And so when Nick, you say, okay, who are the users we do help with this product? But I mean, I really want to disrupt this idea of product. So for me, it's a bit difficult, but maybe we should still do it. And also, I mean, this idea of, maybe it's not so important, but this idea of being also between Web 2 and Web 3. So we are very concrete. We already have clients. We already have project. We have like a Web 3 project and a Web 2 D.E.B project. I don't know if this, like, if it's convincing. But so if I start again with I don't know if there's users. I mean, it's not about users, because when you talk about users that we want to help, it means, because it's more like a business to business philosophy than a business to consumer philosophy, if we need to go like this, we want to create solution and vision and tools that are going to feed up the regenerative world. Basically, that's what we want. And why we are in Web3, it's because we have the freedom to define value in a different way. So we want to contribute to this society. And so do we want to help users? I mean, what we want to do, and this is our product and not our, we are going to produce a certain number of things that are going to be these contributions to regenerative world. It's going to be research, innovation, and contribution, art performance, and academic research, and books, and collaboration for solution. I don't know, with a local community, anything, or a company. For example, understanding the new relationship to energy, in a regenerative world. What does it mean to have decentralized energy in terms of value and interaction in communities? It's huge, the disruption in terms of thinking. And so this is the kind of thing we're going to do. So who are the users we're going to help? If it's a business-to-business model, it's like end users, it's society. This is why I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, the end goal is obviously society, but to get there, you still have to serve someone, right? And in this case, who's the other B in the B2B?
For me, we serve people that want to contribute to regenerative finance with certain characteristic, which is art, science, interdisciplinary research.
So we're
So
trying to help projects who are interested in regenerative finance.
No, we try to help interdisciplinary art tech, art science project who want to contribute to regenerative everything, not only finance actually. But so the people that are going to be part of D.E.B are people that don't find the proper interdisciplinary environment. So, for example, if you are a scientist or an engineer or business engineer who likes to work with art, for example, and art thinking, if you are, for example, like this woman in Boston Consulting, she has to modify the way she presents things. She's doing all kind of tricks to be able to bring in new ideas, So she can come to D.E.B, and there she's going to meet like-minded people, and she will find the proper contributions, the proper, contributors or partners to work together. But for me, it's like a decentralized science lab. So, should I go on the Figma?
Yeah, I linked it in the thread.
You created a new Figma. This is what you did, or no?
Yeah, so that it's just our file because that file was someone else's. So this way we can make changes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think if we can answer these, like if we can fill these in, we could have a presentation done. We have 6 minutes. We'll have to do it asynchronously then.
Okay, so I'm going to do
what if we all attempt to fill this out?
Okay, great. And we can share it with Sebnem as well, even if she's on vacation and she's going to show it to if she wants. And so, and then we try for the deck later on, or to have a nice deck.
And then, so June 14th.
And I need to actually, I need to write a tweet for Ayala from Kernel, She's going to tweet, I don't know, I have a Twitter account also.
I'm not sure if we can talk about our project until we work this out, Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like we need to really get clarity on
but I don't have a choice. I have to give it to her before tomorrow.
Before tomorrow?
Or tomorrow, the latest. By tomorrow, she said. What happened is that I thought that we were part of the Alumni Showcase, and then I realized we were not part, so I was asking them and telling them, I told you how great we were, and that we should be part of it, which I really wanted to, and it's true. I also really want to highlight the connection, with Danielle and Interference Lab and Omega, and Kernel and a bit Motion DAO. We want to use it, but they will never, because Motion DAO is a big mess. There's already like a kind of, ecosystem, and now I just met this guy from La Sphère, and there's also connection there, even if they got 2 million and not us yet.
I noticed that you listed some partners here. Is is it officially a partner? Because like if we say they're partners, people might think like, oh,
Yeah,
these
it's
people
still
are
the
investing
partners.
into this project because they're actually already using the lab or something. Like, yeah, we just want to be like
Yeah,
clear.
and really, I need to write him back, but this guy from the Minister of Culture in Paris. So this is also something important I wanted to say. Do you have 2 more minutes? So,
Yeah.
in addition, Satori, are you listening?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to answer what you suggested, Nick. I'm going to work on it later today. So the guy from the Minister of Culture. So I suggested that D.E.B is going to do a residency at the Minister of Culture. It doesn't have to be, it can be virtual. And he was very much for. I know they don't have money, but for me, if we can have Minister of Culture, it's perfect. And also, suddenly, we are the one that can talk about regenerative everything to all the art centers in France, from them.
Yeah.
And he really got it, everything, And so that's really something I wanted to do. And then, on the other hand, because I'm also looking for some jobs and this kind of things. So the people I know from the art school, and especially I'm thinking, I had a meeting yesterday with a guy I know from one of the big art schools in Paris, who is in charge of research, and I've been involved with him on art and science. And finally, he said, yes, okay, let's do 1 day a day on Web3 regenerative everything in Paris in December. So we have 9th of December for the students. And I was like, but actually, D.E.B, I was thinking that we should really be able to teach, especially to art students, but in general also to students who are interested about sustainability, all these kind of things that we know and we learn ourselves. Because for now, everybody thinks that, Web3 is Bitcoin and hypercapitalism. And so what I've noticed, and then there's a lot of projects that have been, if they are a bit public, they were forced to say that to withdraw from Web3 initiatives by environmentalist people or anti-capitalist, etc. So you had like the WWF in the UK who had to withdraw a campaign after 2 days or even before 2 days because they were attacked of not being eco-friendly enough. The guy from the Ministry of the Future, like this writer, he had to say recently that actually didn't like the idea of that he had Bitcoin in his novel. It's very interesting. So for me, it's really important that I really had this idea that it's so important to. So I try to make it short to share this with students, especially art students. But I was like, okay, let's say that this project for Les Arts Déco in Paris, it's going to be one D.E.B project, and then with the Ministry of Culture in France, they are also leading many schools, art schools and architecture schools in France. Like all art and architecture schools, they are not part of the education minister, but part of art for the Ministry of Culture. So I also have contacts in architecture school, and so voila. So I was thinking, maybe there's something we could do together about teaching.
Well, thanks for elaborating on like the potentialities for collaboration. I think that's helpful to know. Satori, would you feel like you got enough information to be able to answer all of these questions about D.E.B?
Well, I was thinking of, just for my own head, doing it differently, because when you're saying about not the product, it's the process. And then but anyways, yeah, I think I could re-engineer my thoughts to vaguely answer these questions.
How would you do it?
Well, okay. So
I mean, we can change this to processes.
Yeah. And so everything in our process like we're being regenerative like at every scale in a sense. So like all of our process is what's valuable, and that's what we're disrupting, right? Things that are not being valued, that should be valued, or that should be contemplated. And that's why, you know, we're in the Web3 space, because we believe that we could you know, store that value, exchange that value in interesting ways. But anyways, so it's the whole process of our own thoughts and what we're disrupting. So then what that comes to is who our clients are, or it's not even the clients, it's the relationships of other people in the Web3 space. Our relationship with you know, Daniel and what he's doing, because what Daniel brought in expanded our thoughts. And it's our relationship with Omega. It's our relationship with Kernel. And that is what makes I guess this is the why, or what is so important, or what we're feeling of what's gravitating us is at least for me, and that's what I've been thinking about. And I'm just so our process of being interdisciplinary, our process of working together, and we're all coming from different aspects, and then our relationships that we bring to the table, you know, even to my relationships with Imaginarium and the other people that I bring in as far as my outer network. Because, you know, I've been kind of slowly weaving the narrative of dynamic energy budget within the Imaginarium and stuff like that. Recently I did that Kumo thing to more clarify my thoughts on exactly kind of like this, like how do we do an elevator pitch of dynamic energy budget, right? Like how do we condense all of that into a coherent thing. But yeah, I don't know if that made sense.
Okay, so actually you did say a lot of things that were helpful and like would be good to say, you know, during the presentation and stuff like that. But I'm wondering, maybe like, I know you you both just spent an hour explaining it, but I'm just trying to think how we could actually get to a place where we can have like a website explaining these things, so it's not just like, here are my ideas on everything kind of thing. Like it's direct, like they get like the who, what, when, like, do you know what I mean? Like we have 2 seconds to get their attention. You know, these people are already like on 10 million servers, so like we really gotta like explain it quickly and efficiently. So why don't, well, I guess I can just watch this video again, but if you want, you could, you know, brain dump on the dynamic energy budget more and more about like what you think it is. So kind of like what Satori just did, and he was like, oh, for me it's this, this, and this, and then each of us try to synthesize like some sort of the key points that we should mention.
Yeah, I think
that can be in our presentation.
I think we start filling out that Notion page, you know, like the one on the Omega archipelagos. Like we keep on trying to condense it down there to like, okay, what exactly what exactly do we want to, you know, right there.
What is this page?
So I made this Notion page so everyone can learn everything about Omega in like one place. So like you just check what's new, and then you'll be caught up to everything going on at Omega. So there's a page for every single initiative within Omega, and we have one as well, though it's not filled in yet. Part of the cool the first 10 minutes of the call is going to be us, like, updating, maintaining the comments, making sure everyone can access the information, and we're transparent. So this is where we kind of pitch to them really quickly basically what D.E.B is about, so that people would be, like, excited to direct energy and help us with this project. So that's why I thought it would be good to share, like, what our mission is, vision, values, our objectives, and stuff like that. And since we are currently in the TEC, how it relates to token engineering. So
it's like a summary of what we do.
Yeah, basically. So we have, like, the call is in just over 15 minutes. Why don't we, like, take a break real quick? And I don't know what you guys are up to, actually. If you're busy in the next hour until Omega, what are you doing?
I'll try to put some stuff in there.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
Me too, but I don't know where you put the link. I was looking for it.
Oh, I actually sent it to you in a DM,
Okay.
Jean. Yeah,
Okay,
so
merci.
I think I sent you, this page. So if you just click on dynamic energy budget from there, you'll find it.
And also too,
No?
since the 4th.
No, okay, wait. Which direct message? Because I don't see it on direct message from Nick.
I can actually just put it in the thread right now. Sorry.